First 10 overs going sort of along expected lines. Afghanistan going hard, playing a few big shots. India picking up early wickets and then consistently doing so until the 10 over mark. 4 wickets falling in those 10 overs, nicely divided between spin and pace. Jasprit Bumrah, Shami was the first, then Jadeja, Ashwin picking up one each. So wickets being shared around, runs also being shared around. No one really making an impression as an individual, but everyone who got in there, a 4 here, a 6 here, and then out. That's been the story of the first 10 overs so far. Here on Cricbuzz Comm Box, 10 overs to go in the game, Joy. How do you see it from here? Because really it's all about not necessarily whether or not Afghanistan can win, but from India's perspective, how much can they keep them down to?
Absolutely. I think they'll be looking at it and saying that one or two more wickets, really, and they're in the tail. And this is not an Afghanistan side that bats very deep. Yeah, they have batsmen at 7 and 8. I mean, Sharafuddin Ashraf is a decent bat, but Karim Jannat, Rashid Khan, I think they'll fancy their chances, especially against quality bowlers like Bumrah, bring him back, try and get a wicket. So I think India, what they're trying to do is, if you see those first 10 overs, it's very interesting that of the 57, 30 came of just 2 overs. It was Shami's, the fifth, I think the fifth over of Shami's, no, fourth over of Shami's, and then the fifth over of Hardik Pandya, which went for a lot of runs. Other than that, they've just 27 in the other 8 overs, which shows you that everyone else has basically controlled it. It's just those 2 overs that went for a lot of runs. And I think they're in control again. The spinners have just wrested back control.
Only Shardul Thakur to come. But just an interesting number that we were trying to make a little bit of a calculation. 130, just taking a figure, plucking a figure out of nowhere. If Afghanistan get to 130, and that's the victory margin for India, then India's net run rate will go up significantly to plus 0.3. And Afghanistan's will come from the phenomenal heights it was to approximately plus 1.3. So that'll be the difference in the net run rates. India will still have to play against Scotland. Then is the big match, Afghanistan versus New Zealand. And depending on the result of that, if New Zealand win, of course, it doesn't really matter. But if Afghanistan win, then India will know what to do on the 8th of November against Namibia. So it's all set up, and India have done the first part of the task perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're doing it well, and their run setting was perfect. Even though they didn't win the toss, their run setting was perfect. And now they've got their bowlers in control. Also, I'm thinking there is dew out there. So they're also probably trying to bowl their spinners through. And on each side, you probably might see, both these bowlers go for 4 overs each and just finish it off so that there's not dew in the end. Of course, if they get a wicket, they'll be tempted to bring back Bumrah and say, can we just prize open one more batsman, get the tail in, and try and finish it off under 100? Why 130? Let's try and finish 7 for 100.
But Afghanistan will also know. I mean, it's one thing. They'll also know. They'll have the net run rate in the back of their minds because they'll know the calculation through and through. They'll know that if they were to beat, if there was a situation where they were level on points, they need to try and qualify for the semi-finals. And it's not necessarily just by beating India. Even if they don't beat India, they can beat New Zealand, get to 6 points. They know India can get no more than 6 points, no matter what they do. And at that stage, they'd want to make sure that their net run rate is above India's, which they'll know as and when they try and beat New Zealand, just like India will have that information in the last match against Namibia. While we see it from India's point of view, Afghanistan are not going to throw it away.
I completely agree with you. And Nabi's just coming the way he's batting. You can make out he's picking his spots. He's trying to say, we are not going to get this total. How much can we reach? And he will not take any unnecessary risks because he knows that at one side he's got to keep standing there. But he'll say, can we make it 150, 160 and just make it difficult? Can we reduce that margin? Can we keep our run rate difference still substantial? So even if India crushed Scotland, they still have a lot to do against Namibia. I think Nabi is very, very seasoned international cricketer. He'll have that in mind.
Just a quick word on India's spinners. No Varun Chakravarti in this game. Ravichandran Ashwin coming in there. And I think they've done a very, very good job in terms of, a wicket was a bonus in there. But their main objective was to make sure that Afghanistan didn't get away. They don't like playing spin as much, obviously, as the ball coming onto the bat.
Absolutely. To restrict them to 12 in the last 4 once the spinners have come on was, I thought, fantastic. And out of that, they still got hit for a 6. I think I think he got hit for a six. Jadeja got hit for a six. But that's what it is. I think these people are bowling very tight, very quickly, and typical Jadeja tactics. Not allowing the batsman to settle, hurrying through the overs. Ashwin's also coming in. Suddenly you see 3-4 overs have gone, and there's a little bit of panic about what the situation is. And I think the Indians are doing this as well as they possibly could.
Since you like trivia, I'm going to throw a number at you. 1,894. Go figure. It's not a year.
That's the last time Ashwin played a T20 international for India.
Close. That's the number of days between the last time he took a wicket in T20 internationals and today. 1,894 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
5 years, 2
That's
months,
amazing.
and 6 days. You were on the right track.
Best bowler in the world by far in the last 3, 4, 5 years. He's not playing. It may show you how good the Indian side is, but also the fact that there are options like that, sumptuous options like that sitting outside. It's like saying Rashid Khan played for Afghanistan 2 years ago. It's just almost like that.
Just a final word, not on the batting or the bowling, that outstanding catch from Hardik Pandya. I mean, we often look at tumbling catches and great one-handed efforts and say catch of the tournament. There is no way he should have been catching that. It was coming through the lights. It was coming on the edge of the boundary. The impact should have taken him over the ropes. It didn't. It's like he had the best breaks in the world.
Absolutely. That's a Marquardt kind of catch where he catches it and you say, oh, okay, he's got it. And then you look at it later and you see the replays and you understand how much balance, how it requires. He took it in two hands. He never looked as if he was dropping it. And it was such a cool catch. And see, that's what Hardik gives you. They talk about Hardik, the one thing, again, like momentum is a bad word. With Hardik, the word they keep using, the Mumbai Indian players, they talk about is X factor. And absolutely, there is that X factor. His ability in the field, his ability to clear the field himself, his ability to bowl important overs. He's a class player.
And of course, we saw his impact with the bat today. So it's been a lot of boxes ticked for Team India. For the moment, it's just about the next few overs, restriction, taking wickets, getting them out, and making sure that net run rate gets as close to Afghanistan as possible. That's all we'll leave it. We've got lots of calculations and more analysis at the end. For now, that's all on Cricbuzz Comm Box.